What's good, people? It's Ocean here. Welcome back to the Ocean Podcast. I hope you're good wherever you're listening from today. In today's one, we have got Larry O. You may have seen him before. He does a lot of videos on Instagram of FL Studio tutorials, and he's managed to build a massive following there. So we get into all that good stuff. But before we get into the podcast, I do have an announcement. Just in case you may have missed it on my Instagram or on my last YouTube video, I am doing a massive giveaway where I'm giving away some Yamaha HS7s, a MIDI keyboard, and some Sennheiser HD Pro headphones, mixing headphones, as a thank you for hitting 200k subscribers on the main channel. So if you do want to enter that, all you have to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel, go follow me on Instagram at ProdByOcean, and comment on my latest post by tagging 2 producer friends who might be interested in winning. Good luck on that one. But yeah, let's get straight into this podcast.
Ocean gang go drown.
What's good, people? It's Ocean here. Welcome to the Ocean Podcast. Today, I've got special guest Larry O. What's good, bro? How's everything?
What's good, man? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, bro. I'm good, man. I'm chilling. I'm just out here, same as usual, making beats, but taking time to chill at the same time,
For real, yeah. Same here, bro. Taking time to chill, The only difference, I was just explaining this to somebody else the other day, too. It's like, the only real difference is that I'm just not around as many people. But other than that, it's pretty much the same, locked in the studio, working, grinding.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same for you, huh?
Yeah, not much has changed. I mean, I'm indoors. I'm indoors all the time. It's not like I went out a lot anyway. But you know what? I don't know if you feel this way, but I definitely feel like, for some reason, not as productive as I think I should be. I don't know if it's because I'm feeling like I don't have as much inspiration as before because I've been inside the studio for too long now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm feeling like,
Maybe it's because you're forced, like when you're not forced to stay inside, you feel like you probably, not much has really probably changed other than the fact that you can't go to restaurants and, to public gatherings and stuff like that. But maybe, because that's where a lot of people gather inspiration from too, is just going out and not doing music. So maybe that's part of it for some people. Mm-hmm. I haven't really felt it too much because I have like a bunch of different things that I do, that keep me busy. Like, not even like just making beats anymore, It's like I feel like I'm making less beats because of all the different kinds of content that I'm making. Mm-hmm. But and I'm doing like 1,000 different things, so maybe that's why I'm like staying busy, and it's kind of it's fresh every day for me. But maybe it's because everybody's forced indoors. I know there's a couple of producers I heard that said the same thing too, like they feel like less productive during this, and I think it's just because you can't go out and you can't get inspired by just like random things and like taking breaks. Sure. Not, you're in front of your computer, almost like feel like you have to like cook up or have to do something beat related,
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Is the situation quite bad where you are? Like, you guys forced to stay indoors, or?
Yeah, no, we're not really forced. No, I don't know how bad it got in the UK, but I know how bad it got in Italy. I know Ed Talenti was saying that it got really bad over there. I think they got it the worst, and I think they locked down the worst. Leave the
house.
Yeah, bro. Like, Italy got it, I think, the worst. Over here, it's a little bit more lenient. I don't think it's not that bad over here. I mean, yeah, the deaths are going up and the cases are going up a lot, but it doesn't. I feel like they just want to keep the economy open is like their main goal, which is not that great of an idea. But I don't know. It's interesting to see how things are going to pan out. I heard that in my state, they're going to start like a slow open up next week or this weekend, actually.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I think...
how bad is it over there? Like, is it complete lockdown?
It's not complete lockdown. Like, we're allowed to go out for shopping and technically for one exercise a day. But it's not that strict, to be honest.
Yeah. But, same here, pretty much.
What was I gonna say? When I looked at the stats, it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. So I don't know if they're gonna be like loosening it up anytime soon. But hopefully, we just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. It's gonna be a long haul with this one. It's not gonna be like, it's not gonna just go out and it's not gonna just disappear.
Yeah. But bro, let's take it back to the beginning.
Yeah.
To the beginning, early Larry O. How did you get into music and all that stuff?
I think I just started making beats because I was just super interested. I had nobody, and this is the weird thing too, like I had nobody in my circle that really did music or made beats or anything, not even in my family, because I'm like the first one in my family to do anything music related pretty much. And I just was obsessed with beats and obsessed with like the production side of music. And I always had like a loud system in my car. When I was in high school, I had like a crappy car, but I had like $1,000 system in my car because a bunch of my friends like would sell and trade speakers and amps and stuff like that. So I was always about like the beat and the production side of things. And I would just like try to deconstruct beats myself and try to figure out how people how people made beats, you know, like how Timbaland made beats, how Kanye West was making these beats. I would look it up, I would Google things and research. And back when I started, YouTube wasn't around. It wasn't as heavy as it is. It was around, but it's not as like prominent as it is now, like nowhere close. So I had to read a lot of forums and just like, I think I would just like literally Google how to make beats. And FL Studio was one of the first things that popped up and I just learned it, you know. Luckily there was forums online and I just basically taught myself that way. And then as the video stuff got out there more, like YouTube tutorials and that sort of thing, I was watching a lot of those. And that helped a lot. And then I got into a band and I started playing drums. So I started making beats and then I got into a hip hop metal band and I learned drums. I didn't even know how to play drums either. So I learned how to play drums. Yeah. And so I learned how to play drums. We did a bunch of stuff and we did a bunch of touring. We got signed. We went to a big studio. We did some touring and yeah. And it's a long story, but like just to keep it kind of brief, we in 2014 we got signed and we got our first big tour, which is our first tour in general. It was Warped Tour in 2014, so that was a crazy year. And then you know, after that, I was still doing a lot of my, you know, beat production stuff and trying to make side money in the studio by just like mixing, selling custom beats, recording people in the studio locally. Never really like an online thing. I didn't have an online presence at all with it.
Yeah.
It was just local and like word of mouth.
Was you producing for your band as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I was, we started out just like a normal band. It was just like drums, bass, guitars, and vocals. And then I always knew that I wanted to introduce like the beat stuff in it, like synths and keys and that sort of thing. 'Cause I was doing that in my beats. But I just didn't know. I didn't have the technology or the skill to do that yet. So with a lot of research, I figured out how to do that and create our sound and really like mature our sound by doing that and figured out finally how to play that stuff live too. It was like a crazy process, but eventually got to it. Yeah. So then after the band stopped, man, in like 2017, 2018, I just put 150% into what I'm doing, you know? Just like try to have more of a social media presence and just really study the game. And, you know, that's pretty much where I'm at now. It's a result of it, you know, just grinding and failing at tons of things, just failing. Yeah. And then
that's how it goes, man. But that's sick that you was touring and everything. Like, how was that life? I've always kind of, I don't know, like fantasized about going on tour and just living that kind of crazy city to city life, performing every day. Like
it's crazy, bro. Mad. Yeah, it was crazy. I think we did maybe when we first started out, we did like regional stuff. Just like we would go on weekend trips just up and down the coast, really. We didn't go too far down because we're like northeast. So we would go as far down as like North Carolina, South Carolina, and then kind of as far up as Maine. We did Maine. So we would just do like the East Coast pretty much. Yeah. And then after, when we got signed, we had our first big tour. Our first tour was Warped Tour. And that was right away just like smacked us right in the face. It was 50 shows in 60 days or 52 shows in 60 days. Yeah, and we never, ever did anything like that. We would just do weekend shows, like
that's
weekend
crazy.
Trips.
You have to have some sort of crazy stamina to be pulling that off. Like, that's back-to-back shows.
Straight up back-to-back, bro. And the drives, we had to hire a driver, a merch guy, and like a tour manager in order to do it, or else we wouldn't have been able to pull it off really.
Yeah.
So, because after the show, the drives are 12 hours. So imagine being like in the heat all day, you know, in the summer, in the middle of the summer, and it's like 90 degrees, 100 degrees in like Arizona and Texas. And then you have to drive 12 hours. It would be impossible. So we had to have a driver for that one. And but then after that, like we kind of got smacked in the face again with like not so good tours, because Warped Tour was like out of this world, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And tons and tons of people there. And then, you know, we got put on a tour after that where like nobody shows up, because still like nobody really knew us, you know. We're still in that like in that time of just grinding it out and making a name for ourselves. So we had a lot of crappy tours after that where there was like nobody showing up. And then we got like after that, we kind of paid some dues. We got on a couple of really good tours where they were just like normal small, medium-sized venue tours, and those were really good. But, you know, you have ups and downs. You have 5, 6, 7 people involved in the band. For the most part, we didn't have any, like, real issues. But as the time goes on and you get older, you start thinking, like, yo, I got to make money. And that's what's on everybody's mind. And nobody's making any real money. So we kind of just decided to, like, go our separate ways and just pursue what we needed to do, you know, for a living.
So did everyone become or stay the route of being a musician, or everyone completely break away into other stuff?
I think everybody else, I think the guitarist is still doing music, but pretty much everybody else is just doing something else. Yeah. And then I'm just, you know, I'm still doing the music thing, but yeah.
And
I got lucky enough to where, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, what was you going to say?
I mean, I got lucky enough early on to start like a clientele, you know, with like mixing, recording, making custom beats, and I knew there was some sort of business there always throughout the entire like run of the band and everything. So I just knew that I wanted to take that to another level and take just social media to another level after that. And I just was like, I am not gonna go work a 9 to 5. I know for a fact I can't do it. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, man, I feel
so
you.
with that mentality, I had to do what I had to do, you know.
Yeah. So once you finished with the band, you came back, and was you working, because you're saying you was doing like a lot of mixing and mastering and all these kind of services. Did you have your own studio and you was recording people, or was you working?
Yeah, pretty much like when the band started, we got a studio, and then a couple years in, we moved to this studio that I'm in right now, actually. I'm still in the same studio. When the band stopped, everybody kind of went their own separate ways, and I had to like take it on the chin, you know what I mean? I had to stay here. I took over the rent myself, and then I had to hustle, you know what I mean? I had to hustle 150% to keep it and to keep everything going. So yeah, I'm basically in the same studio that we were always in, well, our second studio, and I've been in this room for like, 6-7 years now, maybe 6 years.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was just like, during the band, to make side money, I would schedule sessions around the band. You know what I mean? I would schedule like hourly sessions when I knew nobody else was gonna be here, so that way it didn't conflict with anything band related. Because that was the last thing I wanted to do, was conflict anything with the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always had to be like mindful of that stuff. But yeah, man, it was just a hustle. And then obviously when we were on the road, I couldn't do any of that stuff. And I didn't have any online money coming in, any streaming or anything like that coming in. So when I was on the road, I wouldn't make any money. It would be like kind of the opposite of what you would think, you know? Like you make money when you're home. When you're out on the road and you're like a struggling band, you're not making anything. So, but always had the side hustles, you know what I mean? And they always like, it was always music related side hustles.
So when did you start doing social media and getting into Instagram and that?
I'd say maybe like, I've always been on Instagram, but I think in the last like 2 years, I started like stepping it up. I was doing a lot of like, you know, the beat videos. Shout out Ed Talenti, because I'm sure he inspired a ton of my videos.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I tried that out.
there was a period of time where that was popping, and even I tried to jump on that, but
I mean,
it wasn't
I
working.
think everybody tried. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't working, but it worked for like Ed Talenti. It worked for Lakey Inspired.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it worked.
I think he probably like completely took it to like the next level, man.
For sure. Yeah, he definitely inspired the entire producer community, like and the whole community, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stepped it up into somewhere where nobody ever thought it could go. You know, he's still doing his thing. Just instrumentals, bro. Like I think his Spotify, last time I checked, is just like all instrumental stuff, and he's got like hundreds of thousands or if not a million monthly listeners. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And that all started basically from Instagram, as far as I see, you know. But he was like right place, right time. And then I was just one of those guys that was trying to, you know, catch on too late, and it didn't work for me. But like, again, failed at something and tried again after like a few months, 6 months or a year. I figured out something wasn't working. I'm going to try something new. I'm switch it up a little bit. I've always stuck with that. And now I finally found something that has been really consistent and really works and grows, you know?
So, how long would you say you was into it before you finally realized, okay, this one idea hit and I'm going to like take it in this direction now?
Just a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so literally just a year ago. So it was May. So it was middle of May, probably. It's about to be a year. And I posted this one clip on Instagram. And side note, but like a few of my friends would tell me like, yo, you got to get into the tutorial side of things and you should teach. I'm like, I don't feel like I'll be that good of a teacher. And I was like kind of shooting it down, you know what I mean? Being a little bit closed-minded. And then, I don't know, one day I was just like, I got the idea. I had a session with somebody and it just sparked in my head. I had the recording software on my desktop. I had OBS and I was just like, yo, no sound, no audio, no like me talking or anything. But I was just like, let me screen record this real quick. Me just chopping vocal layers up, you know what I mean? And lining them up with each other. So like I had a session with somebody and I was just like lining up dubs and ad-libs manually, like slicing them and nudging them left and right. And it was literally just a loop of that for maybe 15, 20 seconds. And I just put a caption on it that said, make sure your engineer does this. And it was just like me lining up vocals. And it got like thousands of views, whereas my other videos were getting like 100, 200, 400 views. And I was I think I'm onto something. Maybe it's the screen recording. Maybe it's teaching side of things. So then, yeah, I just started. After that, I think a couple days later, I posted my first like real tutorial on Instagram, and then that one took off too, and that one got like 20, 30,000 views. And I was like, yo, this is like, and I at the time only had like maybe 4,000 followers. Yeah. So that was huge. It was like going crazy in the Explore page and wherever
so you've
else.
really like grown a lot since, you've grown so much since just like in a period of 1 year.
Yeah. So in May, I don't know, like maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll hit 100,000 followers. So yeah, like 95,000. I went from like 4,000 to 100,000 followers in a year, pretty much, you know? And it's just from being consistent, you know, every day. The goal was to start posting every day. And I got to that goal maybe a few months in. So 6-7 months in, I started posting every single day and really haven't missed a day since.
Yeah. So how do you keep up with that? Do you like bulk film your content and then chop it up and just have them ready to go?
I used to bulk film it at the beginning. I think like last summer I was bulk filming it because we were like I was going on like a couple family vacations and I knew I wasn't going to be near my computer and stuff. So I was like bulk filming and just stashing it in Google Drive. And then I edit everything on my phone for Instagram. So everything that I do for Instagram is all edited on my phone. So I could just access everything anytime. I have bought more storage on Google Drive, and then I could just dump the videos in there, pull them into my app, and edit. And but now I'm like on more of a schedule. Like I have a tight schedule, and I get up. I come to the studio in the morning. I literally think of an idea while I'm here in the morning. Just before this podcast, I just thought of an idea, screen recorded it, did the voiceover and posted it. So right now, this time it's 12:30. I must have posted it like at 11:45. So like that's my everyday thing, is just like I get here and I've been so consistent with it, and like it's such a routine that it's like it's not really, it's no sweat to me. I don't know, I just come up with an idea like pretty much in the first like few minutes of just sitting at the computer. I'll listen to some sounds. I'll look at some of my old videos and see maybe what I'm missing. But yeah, that's pretty much the routine now. Every day I come here in the morning, think of a video, screen record it, edit, and drop it every day.
That's good. I remember like really, really, really early on back in the days when I was just focusing more on tutorials. I want to say like the first year in, I tried to do the block film maybe like 2-3 videos back to back, but I could never get my energy right. After the first one, it was like a massive dip in energy in the second one, and then even more in the third one. Yeah,
I could see. So how do you do yours right now for YouTube? Are you pretty much every day? It's just like...
Yeah, it's on the day. So I might wake up in the morning and be like, okay, today. So I'm trying to, right now, it used to be every 2 days I do a video, but now I switched it to every 3 days. So on that third day, I wake up in the morning and start to like try and think of ideas of what I might do for a video.
Yeah.
And then I just do the whole process in that one day. So film the video, make the beat, edit it, and then just put it out that night.
Yeah, I always wonder, because I see you guys on YouTube heavy, and that's like so much more of a demand for editing. So you edit all your own videos still?
Yeah. I've thought about giving it to someone else and editing, but because of my process of doing it on the day, I don't really want to wait.
You want it out.
Yeah, I don't really want to have to wait 2 days. Like and as well, when I'm filming my video, I'm doing a mental edit in my head. So I remember that, remember to skip like 10 minutes of me just like fucking around trying to find something. Skip that.
Yeah, man,
it's fresh in my head.
I relate with that so much, bro, because I started doing the YouTube thing too, like, and I would have somebody edit my video, but it would be waiting, and then I'd get it back, and I, like you said, like have that edit in my head where I know I'm like, yo, this whole like 10 minutes, like you just said, it's just gonna be erased. It's just you can't stop recording. You know what I mean? You'll mess everything up. It'll get out of order and stuff. But
yeah,
I totally like relate with that, bro. So I'm busier, but like it's still more worth it for me to do everything myself right now. So YouTube videos I'm doing myself on my phone again, and all the Instagram just all like by myself.
I honestly don't mind it either, because it's like another creative outlet trying to put it together to tell a story or whatever. But it is time consuming. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah,
it's super time consuming. So I try to keep it a little bit simple on the edits. Guys like Simon Servita, I don't even know what the hell he does. I think he has an editor, but his videos are like heavily edited. So I can only imagine the footage that he goes through, but he's probably so used to it now.
I think he does have an editor. He chops it up a bit and then passes it to his editor.
It makes sense. He probably goes through like what we just explained with like the mental edits that we know we want to get rid of, and then he passes it off to somebody, just, hey, spice it up a little bit. Yeah. That's a good idea though. Yeah.
Do you put a lot of
time consuming?
Do you put a lot of content out on YouTube then?
I have been lately, yeah. I've been trying to do every like few days on there. So every like I went through a spurt where I was doing a decent amount. Maybe I was doing one a week. Then I fell off for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I didn't do anything because I was doing a lot of sponsored videos for Instagram. It was a little bit too much. So, but the YouTube's been building just because of my Instagram. A lot of people are demanding longer style videos and tutorials. So I've been doing that. A lot of cook-ups on there, like sponsored videos, cook-ups and stuff like that. So I've been doing those. And I've been trying to stay consistent with like every 3 or 4 days on YouTube now. And I've been just editing them myself pretty much. Simple edits. As simple as I can get it, you know? It's just, I don't want to do anything crazy. Just because I felt like I tried it out where I would just like drop like a not so edited, highly edited video. And it did like better than some of the other ones where they were super edited by somebody else. And there was a lot of bells and whistles and things. It's all in the content at the end of the day, you know? It's really,
definitely.
It's just in the content, what it's
I feel like
about.
For tutorials, the more natural and just like straight up it is, the better that they do normally.
I think so too. Yeah, man. Like, I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. My app can't handle it anyways, because you can only do so much with that app.
That's crazy that you're doing it all on your phone as well, man.
Yeah, bro. I just find it so much more convenient because I'm always on my phone anyways. And I got this app. It's called Video Leap. I'm sure people ask me all the time what I use. So if anybody's watching or listening, it's Video Leap on the iPhone. And it's super convenient. I think it's like $30 for the year. And it has a lot of features, bro. Like, you could do a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of different effects and keyframing things that you could do in there, and the quality's top notch. You know, you could do 1080, 4K, everything. Frame rate, high frame rates.
You know what it is though? It's just the small screen. That just seems too claustrophobic, man.
That's why with the Instagram stuff, it's a lot easier because I'm doing it in a different format. I'm doing it in the bigger, taller ratio. Yeah. So it kind of works out with that. But when it comes to the YouTube stuff and you got to do 16:9, it gets like, it's super small. And if I have my little camera up in the top left or the top right, it's so tiny I can't see if I have everything lined up right. So it's super like annoying sometimes. That's why I kind of passed off those videos to another editor at one point, but it's still worth it for me to do it that way. But yeah. I bet if I moved to like Premiere or something, like it would help me a lot more. But I just haven't done it. I guess I'm just like set in my ways with it.
Like, whatever works, man, works. Like, if that's what I feel about everything. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Like,
yeah, for real, man. Do you use Premiere?
Yeah, I use Premiere, and I got like this massive screen because I can't deal with the small screen. I used to do it all on my laptop, and like it was fine, it was calm until I switched to the big screen, and then now it's like I can't go back.
Yeah, even with the laptop, it's too small sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, even a laptop's like too small sometimes. I agree. Like, I have my like dual monitor set up, but I just haven't made the switch. It's just, you know, if like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Do you would you ever consider doing tutorials but not in FL Studio? So maybe like Logic Pro X or Ableton?
If I knew it better, or maybe I was always thinking of like teaming up with somebody who knows it really well, you know, and kind of collaborating on stuff like that. But I haven't. I've used Logic in the past. I've used Ableton in the past, but not to a level where I feel comfortable explaining things to people, because I don't feel like I know it as well as I know FL Studio. Yeah. So I don't think it would take me a while to like run with the programs in order for me to feel comfortable teaching people and doing tutorials on them. I feel like there's people that know it way better than I do, you know?
I feel you. I feel like there'd probably be so much demand and like other doors on Instagram. I feel like if you could do it, you'd 100% kill that.
I know, bro, because I get comments, like a lot of people follow me that use Logic and Ableton, and they're always like, yo, how do you do this in Logic? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I try to tag somebody that knows Logic or Ableton. Maybe they can answer it for them. But I mean, it's been a thought though, because I just dropped a course actually with Curtis King. It would be dope to maybe do a course with somebody who uses another DAW, and we collab that way, you know. And it's like an FL Studio Logic course, you know what I mean? That'd be kind of fire actually. And it would be like, it would show you how to do the same things in both DAWs. It's like, here's how you do it in FL, here's how you do it in Ableton, or here's how you do it in Logic, you know?
So bro, do you focus on beat selling at all?
And do I focus on beats?
Yeah, like selling beats online. Are you are you in that
beats,
game?
I am, but I'm not deep into it, because I'm pretty much wrapped up in, you know, the social media game. But I do have a BeatStars, and I have been like uploading beats there. It's been maybe a couple of weeks since I've uploaded a beat, but because of all these like tutorials that I've been doing on IG, I'm making beats a lot of times for these tutorials. So I'm like, yo, why not put them out there? Why not have another stream of revenue? Because that's something that I talk about a lot, man, and you know it too. You gotta have multiple streams of revenue. I'm sure. Do you sell beats too?
I've got my Beat Store up there, but I haven't updated it. Probably could be almost a year, to be fair. I don't really focus on beat sales that much, but other ways, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have, like, that's number one, is having different streams of revenue, because it's hard to rely on just one. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. You can't rely on just one. If you're looking into selling beats online, I mean, unless you wait it out for a long time, you could rely on that one stream. But I think for right now, you have to think of what other skills you have. If it's you getting a part-time job, or if it's you offering mixing, mastering services, if it's you offering consultation services, Skype calls, Zoom calls, whatever. Yeah, so even still to this day, I'm looking at all these different streams and trying to make it any way I can, like with the skill set that I have. Because why not? Why not? People, if they're, if you have a skill, there's people looking to learn that skill.
Yeah, 100.
Or looking to, gain from your skill. People looking to pay for mixing, mastering, or custom beats.
Do you still do mixing and mastering services then?
I do. Yep, I do. So, I don't go out there and like push it, and like promote it like that. But when people do hit me up, I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm in the process of doing a couple of them right now, actually. So it's kind of just like a case by case basis.
Yeah.
I was trying to push that a few months back. I was trying to push that a little bit more, but now since the social media has picked up a lot more, I haven't been able to promote it as much as I used to. So,
do you do consultations too then as well then?
I do. I've been doing those, especially with the times that we're in right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it must be like a great time for that right now.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think I have 2 of them right after this. I have 2 actually. Nice. Yeah, I have 2 Zoom calls. Like I do these one-on-ones when we can screen share, and they can hear me, I can hear them. They can screen share with me, vice versa, and it's dope, bro. Yeah, like I love it. It's really dope to teach one-on-one, because I get to explain things so much better, so much easier, just than like rather than like answering a DM. Although like I can like that's why sometimes I can't answer every DM. Like I read them all, but it's time. I would be there like typing something out for like 20 minutes if I had to answer that, if I could answer that, So that's why I love these Zoom one-on-ones.
Yeah, you can go real in depth. I used to do them back in the day, maybe like a year ago, but just because of time at the moment, it's quite limited for me. I can't really keep up with it. But,
yeah, it's time consuming, bro. That's why I haven't even like pushed them really, because I don't want to get bombarded by like too many of them. I want to keep it on a case to case basis, like I said before, and just if people ask me certain questions, like, hey, do you offer anything? Do you have a course on this or whatever? I'm like, hey, I do have this like one-on-one thing, and so that way I don't get like too overwhelmed with things, because like I said, I'm doing a lot, so I don't want to like spread myself too thin or put too much on my plate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're just a one-man team right now, so
exactly. I'm sure you are
consider,
too, right?
Say that again?
You're a one-man team, right?
Yeah, I do everything by myself.
Yeah.
I'm considering getting someone to edit the podcast though, but
that would be good. Cause
just so I could free up some time.
And you don't have to have a tailored look to that. You could just tell them, hey, this is how I want it. Chop it up, edit it.
It's really just a question of chopping. In fact, it's not even really chopping. I'm just flicking between like 2 faces, so it's not that bad. Yeah, and it takes so long, man. The podcast takes maybe longer than just editing a normal video.
Really?
In terms of like if you take the whole process together with the export, it takes so long to export. So
yeah, bro, I know, because I was sending videos. I did a podcast last week, and I was sending videos, and I'm like, yo, this is why I don't do anything. This is why I do everything on my phone too, because like I was doing stuff on the GoPro, and the files are huge. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not like experienced with video stuff, but like I sent 3 different videos and it was like 9 gigs, and I couldn't even get it off my computer the way I wanted to send it right. And I'm like, yo, like, I don't know how people deal with video on a day-to-day basis, because I'm doing it in such a simplified way that it doesn't take me that long. So when I try these other ways, like using a regular camera, like a GoPro or something like that, I'm like, yo, I get overwhelmed, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of waiting. That's one of the main reasons why I haven't messed with Adobe Premiere too, because it's really time consuming, and I'm like super like into it too. So if I go into Adobe Premiere and I just get into the editing, I have to make everything perfect, and I find out a new effect and I have to spend an hour on it. Like, so it gets to be like a rabbit hole where like I'm just experimenting when I could just do something a lot simpler and just drop it. But I agree, bro. You should definitely. It would definitely help you to get an editor for the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna eventually do that for sure. When you're recording your screen tutorials, do you do it all in one process? So you're doing the music stuff, but then are you recording your voice at the same time so you don't have to edit that later?
That's something that I get asked a lot too. I do the voiceover afterwards for Instagram.
Okay.
For the Instagram stuff. I just literally screen record it. I know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm kind of editing ahead of time, like you said too earlier. And I'm just like, I know what I'm going to do. And I keep in mind how I'm going to edit it pretty much. And then I just export the video and I drop it into Google Drive. I pull it into my phone. I chop it all up in my phone in the app. And then I go back and I just do the voiceover as I go. So they have a voiceover option in the phone, in the app as well. So I just literally talk into my phone.
That's sick.
Yeah,
nice,
bro. It's pretty fire. Yeah, and then if I mess up, I could just stop, trim it up, and then kind of punch in like you would punch in on a vocal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's super easy like that, and the quality's good, and if it ain't broke, don't fix, right?
Exactly.
That should be the title of the podcast.
Yeah, I might have to put that in the podcast title.
Right. Facts.
What would you say to people who are trying to grow on a platform like Instagram, for example, because you're crushing it there? What's the things that you would say has definitely helped you to start seeing traction and growing?
The main thing is consistency, I think. But the quality of the content too, you got to keep in mind that you can be consistent, but if the quality of the content isn't there, and not quality as in how good does it look, how good does it sound, the quality as in like how valuable is it to the people that you're trying to reach? You know, what's the quality of the content itself? How good is the content? Is it valuable? Do you provide value? Did somebody learn something? Is somebody entertained by it? Did somebody gain from it in some way? So I think the combination of providing a ton of value and being super consistent is like the number one formula to get you a following, create a business online, anything. You know that too. Like you've been super consistent with your videos and the quality of your videos, not just the look and the sound of your videos, but the content itself is great. So that's why you've seen such a huge growth in your time that you've been doing it. It's the same thing. I think for any social media platform, you just have to kind of have to go with the style of that platform. You know, like the length of the video. That's why Instagram, I knew that shorter videos did the best. So I was like, I'm gonna make short tutorials. There's not many people doing it on Instagram, or there's really nobody doing it on Instagram like that. You know, short, quick tutorials that get straight to the point. And I just kind of filled a void, I think. What happened, and super consistent, and people enjoy the content, and that's pretty much the formula right there. It's not too complicated. The complicated part is figuring out how to provide value for somebody. You know, that's the hard part.
For sure. I think that takes time. But when you are consistent, then you do figure it out, because you keep putting things up, and then eventually something will click. Just as you said, for you, it was switching to doing tutorials, and you realize, okay, I'm onto something here.
Yep.
For me, it took me a long time to see traction. I think for sure, quality definitely helps. Like in the beginning, the audio was rough, the picture was not that great.
Yeah.
So even though the content might have been good, the wrapping, the presentation of it wasn't great. It's not until like, I got a better camera and I started like really trying a bit harder with the editing and making sure my audio was good before I start filming that things started to like actually get better, of course.
Definitely helps, bro. It definitely helps.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm sure like even early on in the beginning when your quality wasn't that great, there was still people's like following and sticking around and commenting and,
yeah,
you know, and they're probably still followers right now of you and they're probably still there. And they're like, yo, I was there since the beginning when his quality
the day one. Shout out to all the day ones.
The day ones, bro. You know what I mean? They stick around. They like that journey. The journey is everything. That's why, like you said, but you didn't wait until you had good quality to start posting though. That's the thing.
Nah,
you
I don't
just
think
started
that's...
posting.
But the thing is as well, even though we say like you should have good quality and this kind of thing, it's subjective. Because if your content is really, really, really good, like hands down undeniable, but your quality in terms of presentation is not there, you can still get traction, you can still get it moving. So it's all subjective in a way. But I think doing something than just holding off and waiting until, you know, you got the sick camera or the nice mic or these shiny things. Nah, you got to do something.
Yeah, man. A lot of people just make excuses like, I have to wait to get this $1,500 camera. I can't start posting content. I think they're worried about the way it looks and sounds before they're worried about what they're going to be posting a lot of times. And I think it's got to be the other way around. If you have a phone, like Simon Servita still posts with his phone, still makes his videos with his phone. Like his camera is his phone. So it's
and it doesn't even matter because the content is just too good.
The content is ridiculously good, and it does not matter. You could tell that he doesn't have the best camera, but it does not matter one bit. The content is great. People like his personality. He's a great dude. He's a funny guy, and he's really good at what he does. And people will feed into that 150%, and you could see it in his growth.
Have you tried dropping content on other platforms, like TikTok, for example?
I have, but I don't think that there's a community on there right now trying to learn stuff. So I just been sticking with what I've been doing. I've been trying things here and there, and I haven't really gained any traction. Because I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think that there's not that many producers on there trying to learn stuff, or maybe I just haven't reached them in the right way. Maybe I haven't gotten to that yet. I think it's great for people trying to get their music out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than like trying to provide some sort of like teaching or anything like that. I feel like people are there to be like entertained more than anything right now.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely found its lane. I don't know if it's gonna change.
The tutorial route could work on TikTok, but it would have to be like speaking to a broad audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see it, like I've seen so far on TikTok, people teaching like how to draw or how to backflip, just these really random things, but they break it down so that anyone could probably do it.
Or anyone can watch it and be entertained by it. I think my stuff is so niche and it has such a small like audience that it's not entertaining for everybody. And I think once it hits that For You algorithm, it would have to hit like a whole bunch of producers in one shot. And I don't know, I haven't gotten that yet. But everything that I see do really good on TikTok is pretty generalized, and it's pretty like just entertaining to a huge group of people.
Yeah. 100%.
But you know, I could just be making excuses over here and not putting that much time into TikTok. But like
you never know. Like you might put up. I don't know. I have a feeling that if you was to just put your Instagram videos on TikTok, maybe one might go.
I have done that here and there, and some of them get some plays. The videos that have done the best is the videos that I've like made a beat out of something. Like I did this video with my son. I did this video. My son has this like little like I can't remember what it's called. It's like a little flute toy. It's circle though, and it has like the holes on the top of it.
Oh, is that like the ocarina or something?
I think that's what it is.
Thingy.
Yep, I think that's what it is. Yep. He had like a little toy version of one of those, and I just like filmed him playing it, and then I sampled it, and like that video probably got like maybe like 1,500 or 2,000 views. So I definitely saw that style of video does a lot better, but I don't know if that helps my brand, my business as much as all the tutorial stuff that I do on Instagram and YouTube. So I feel like, yeah, I could go view hungry and get like, yeah, I got all these views. I got 1 million views. But what does that really get me for my business right now? I don't think I don't think that for me right now, it's worth it to dive into and spend all that time and take away time from what I'm doing right now that's working. And there's people there waiting for everything every day on another platform. And I gotta keep all those people happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to take time away from that.
That makes sense. On your Instagram, would you say mainly producers who follow you, or would you say it's a mixture of artists and producers?
I think it's mainly producers now. 2 years ago, it was mostly artists. And now with the growth and because of the tutorials, it's mostly producers. But
yeah,
you'd be surprised. I do get a lot of DMs about mixing, mastering, and custom beats still, but it's definitely, if I had to put like a percentage on it, it's probably like 80, 90%, 85, 90% producers right now.
I guess like, like that golden era. Well, I don't, maybe it's not a golden era, but that era when it was just starting to get into the Instagram videos of just showing you kind of playing the beat, making the beat.
Yeah.
Like the Ed Talentis and the LJs back in the day.
Yep.
I think
shout out to LJ too.
That was more of almost like a beat selling tactic in a way.
Definitely.
That's when you would
that was what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
My whole goal with doing those videos was literally just to try and sell a beat.
Yep.
I mean, obviously to grow and be consistent, but the end goal there was to try and sell the beat.
Yeah, man, it's dope. There's only, and it's tough. Like now that you mentioned that too, I'm thinking it's tough to tackle both sides of things because
it's basically two different businesses.
It really is, bro. But there's a few people that do it and do it really well. I think one person that comes to mind that does it ridiculously well is Illmind.
Okay.
He is a beast with selling beats. He gets placement after placement. He's won Grammys. He's gone platinum multiple times, I think. And he still has his producer audience that he makes another like huge living on, but he knows that's where I got that mentality from of like the different revenue streams. Like you have to have multiple revenue streams. Even somebody at his level is still hustling to a point where he's creating all these different revenue streams, and he's killing both sides of the game. He's getting tons of placements, and he's also providing a lot of value to other producers. And he has 2 different markets that he's just crushing. And that right there is like, it's almost impossible. And he's just one of the people that can do it and do it really well. There's not many. He's pretty much like the only person that I can think of that's doing it as well as he is.
Yeah, there's literally just a handful of guys that I can think of.
And Kenny Beats.
That do well. Yeah.
Kenny Beats too.
Nick Mira is definitely one of them as well. Like
Nick
killing
Mira,
the industry, but has his online stuff going too.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. 100%. And Internet Money guys.
Yeah.
Cody
is that a goal of yours though? Do you want to try and get placements or try and be more in the industry at all?
I think I chased that for so long, and I realized that maybe it just wasn't for me. If it happens now, it happens. I think what might happen is now I think I'm starting relationships because of the way I'm teaching. I think what's happening is I've seen a few producers that have placements that have been in the game, in the industry, reach out to me and like not just ask for advice, but say that they've been following me for a little while now. And maybe a relationship will spark out of something like that. I don't know. If it happens, it happens. I'm ready for it. And I've been doing this for a long enough time to be ready for something like that. But I don't think it's something that I would chase right now. I think, just like I said a little while ago with TikTok, I don't want to stray away from what's working right now because I think I've done that in the past.
Yeah.
And those are some mistakes that I made. So I definitely don't want to stray away from what I'm doing that's working so well right now.
I feel you, yeah.
If it happens, it happens, though. If somebody reaches out and they're like, yo, I've been following you. I got send me some loops, whatever. Let's get a placement. I'm down. I'm down for it. It's just not something that it's
just not something that you're like actively going out there trying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's just, if I had 2 other clones of myself, I would be able to do it. But I can't right now. So if it's something that falls in naturally. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, that's the thing. There's just so much, so many different avenues you can take with this whole online producer thing. Even the other day I was thinking, man, I really want to maybe start putting some instrumentals on Spotify. And I was thinking like, I'd love to just put out a lo-fi beat tape. But then I'm like, do I want to associate with me? Do I want to make it like a whole side project and do it that way? And then I'm thinking, yeah, man, there's just, it's very easy to get distracted and choose.
It is, man, because there's so many different ways, because you love doing music. So you almost want to do everything music related. It's tough, bro. Like, I want to do all these things. I want to get, I do want placements. That would be great to have. I've always dreamt of getting big placements, but at the end of the day, you're only one person, and you can only take on as much as you can take on. So pick and choose what's working, what you like to do more than anything, and that's kind of just what I've stuck with. And I don't want to, like, leave anybody stranded waiting for, I built up these producers, the following of these producers, where they're expecting, videos every day and to get taught every day. I don't want to just start pushing my beats on them, and it would be like a totally wrong business move.
Yeah. So what's your goals with all this? What you trying to accomplish? I just want to teach a lot of producers, man. I think I didn't even know. I think Curtis King just asked me the same question, like, what's the goal? Or somebody, I can't remember, last week, was like, yo, what's your goal in the next 5 years? Oh yeah, it was Crackalack. Oh, I did a podcast with him too. He was like, yo, what's your goal in the next 5 years? I'm like, bro, I didn't even know what my goals were this year, the things that I've done this year. It's such a hard question, and I know a lot of people like to make goals, and I think I make them as I go, kind of, and I'm like, yo, it would be good just to have a course out. And before this year started last May, I didn't know that I would have a course out. I had no clue that this is where I would be in pretty much a year, less than a year. Really fast when you think about it.
They do, bro. So to have goals is good, but those things always change up, and you kind of just got to go with the flow. I've always been like, just go with the flow. As these opportunities come, take them, and just get ideas along the way for future things. So yeah, Curtis King hit me up and was like, yo, you want to do a course? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, down. I'm like, yo, let's do a course. Let's do a course together. And in a few months, it was out. And it's out now. And it was a year ago, I would never think, if you asked me what my goals were a year ago, a course would not be one of those goals. So it's a tough question.
I feel you.
Yeah.
What's your course about? I know it's to do with like FL Studio and tutorials and stuff, but is it like something really, really in depth, or is it specific to like mixing and mastering?
It has a bunch of stuff, bro. It's like 12 hours long, so it's a collab with me and Curtis King, where we kind of we outlined the whole thing. We went through a list and we were like, all right, what do you think you're better at? What do you think I'm better at? And then we just kind of went through like, all right, I'll do this video, you do this video. And it's like 4 different modules, and each module has like a bunch of videos in it. And it's all different advanced FL Studio tips and producer tips. There's a lot of mixing and mastering in there. And there's a lot of sampling ideas, sampling tricks, different ways to, like 4 different ways to sample. There's like an entire video that I did on just vocal recording, editing, mixing, and mastering inside of FL Studio, because a lot of people would ask me, yo, do you record everything in FL? And I have for the last few years now, and I think it's a great idea if people use FL to record vocals in there as well. So I threw in a video on that topic. And so there's a lot of different melody tricks, sampling tricks. Curtis King has a remix video. He shows you how to remix a song. If I had a list, I'd be able to get in a lot more depth.
It seems like you cover everything,
every much,
question
bro.
that you would have when you open up a door and you don't know what to do.
Pretty much anything, you could think of, we try to throw in there. And we're constantly getting great feedback, and we might be adding some more things to it as the feedback comes in too, because we could just add things to it as we go if we wanted to. It's pretty cool.
If people don't know where to find you, bro, where can they search you up?
Yeah, you can find me on all social media platforms at Larry O, LARRYOHH. And you can, if you're interested in the course, it's advancedflstudio.com.
Nice. Thanks for coming on the podcast, bro.
Yo, thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, man. I'm a big fan of the podcast and a big fan of what you've been doing. So keep it up, bro. Man. If I ever get a podcast, you'll be online.
That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this one with Larry O. If you enjoyed this podcast, please support by screenshotting wherever you're watching from, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Screenshot it. Tag me on Instagram at ProdByOcean, and I'm going to be reposting everyone. But yeah, that's it for this one. Until next time.